Good evening. Welcome to this evening's newscast on Kaieteur Radio. Kevin Smith here.
And I'm Kayla King.
Let's get to the news in detail. Vice President Dr. Bharat Jagdeo on Monday, February 8, committed to reporters that the administration would make monthly oil production statements available to the press. He said that the monthly production can basically be inferred from reports on Guyana's share and how often it received them. The Vice President encouraged the media to request the statements. He even shared a sample of the production statement with the press.
And now let's tell you, it appears that the mystery boat spotted on Monday afternoon drifting offshore Guyana with what appeared to be decomposing bodies might have disappeared. The vessel was first seen around 14:04 hours by a supply vessel contracted by ExxonMobil, which is operating in the area. Crew members forwarded photos to Murad along with key details of the boat's location. Efforts were made to tow the vessel to Port Georgetown, where further investigations would have been carried out. However, according to a joint press conference held last evening by Minister of Public Works Juan Edgehill and the Minister of Home Affairs Robeson Ben, searches were conducted to locate the vessel, but it was not found.
And now let's tell you, a manhunt has been launched to locate 4 high-profile convicts that yesterday morning escaped from the Mazaruni prison in Region 7 by cutting the bars of their cell. The escaped prisoners have been identified as 25-year-old Imram Ramsiwak, 44-year-old Kenrick Light, 36-year-old Samuel Gavaya, and 28-year-old Rayon Jones. Anyone with information that may lead to the arrest of the 4 escapees is asked to contact the police on telephone numbers 455-2238, 455-2222, 911, or the nearest police station. All information will be treated with the strictest confidence.
In other news, opposition leader Joseph Harman has signaled that he will not advocate against ExxonMobil's increased flaring at their Liza Destiny operations. He said that the AFC and former EPA head Dr. Vincent Adams have said enough. However, checks prove Harman's statements inaccurate, since we have not seen or heard any statements from him or the APNU condemning Exxon's increased flaring. In fact, the only political agencies condemning the flaring were the government and the AFC, the other party forming the coalition.
And moving on, contractors engaged in projects in Region 5 and 6 have been warned to complete their work within the specifications of their contracts, so said Minister of Public Works Bishop Juan Edgehill. Residents of Brehispat Street, Region 6, Number 2 Village, explained to Minister Edgehill that a contractor had used sappy materials as a base for the road being built in the area, which made relatives unhappy. The minister warned that if the allegations about the use of sappy materials are found to be accurate, the engineer, clerk of works, and the contractor will be responsible for rectifying the same at no cost to the ministry. He then urged residents to be respectful in voicing their concerns to the contractor.
Meanwhile, in spite of the economic pains felt last year from the COVID-19 pandemic, President and CEO of Bristow Group Inc., Christopher Bradshaw was thrilled to report to shareholders recently that the company is poised for massive growth thanks to the Guyana-Suriname market. The CEO said that the Caribbean Triangle has certainly been one of the key growth engines for the company, while adding that it remains a bright spot globally.
And now let's tell you, the Ethnic Relations Commission has moved to the courts recently, working vigorously to stop the spread of racial incitement among Guyanese, especially on social media. In a statement, the body noted that it has commenced legal action against 7 defaulters. The 5 defendants, John Gobin, Lashawna Chester, Stacey Smart, Glynis Gibson, and Tiffany Green, pleaded guilty and were all fined for the offenses committed on separate dates. Meanwhile, Surendra Paul Ramprasad and Steve Anthony Barakat, who pleaded not guilty, will attend court separately when their cases resume.
Today, Rayon Alves, the East La Penitent's 19-year-old driver of the motor vehicle that was involved in the Homestretch Avenue Georgetown accident on Sunday, which claimed the lives of 2 teenagers, made his first court appearance. He was placed on $600,000 bail. Owls appeared in the Georgetown Magistrates Court before senior magistrate Leron Daly, slapped with 2 charges. The first charge alleged that he drove a motor vehicle in a manner dangerous to the public, thereby causing the death of 19-year-old Dakara Gittins and secondly, 18-year-old Tanika Halley.
And that just about brings us to the end of this evening's newscast. But before we go, let's head over to today's Kaieteur newspaper, page 7, that is dedicated to being blunt. Guyana's vice president seems to think that he can substitute weekly press briefings, which the Guyana Press Association has called for with his Once Upon a Blue Moon press conference at the Arthur Chong Conference Center. Bring back the weekly post-cabinet press briefings. This 3-month thing is not enough. The vice president also seems to think that he can get away with speaking for just about all ministers on all issues, while some of these junior ministers have been hiding since taking office. Let them face the fire. That is how they will learn. And that brings us to the end of this evening's newscast. I am Kevin Smith.
And I am Kayla King. Thank you for listening.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your